Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing climate change, abrupt climate change, things adjacent. And I wanted to start this video with some comments, quite a few really good comments. First one was from Henry Holt, a viewer, frequent commenter. Henry's in Australia. Henry says, true, Kevin, the current paradigm has us hardwired for comfort lie. Everything is disposable in the pursuit of comfort. When we can turn the aircon up or down with a button, and nothing is made to be fixed or repaired, recycled anymore, as repair recycling is uncomfortable, expensive, it is easier to throw away. The way we interact on social media as people are comfortably disposable, and it's as easy to be narcissist as it's uncomfortable to deal with real people and real emotions such as family. The battlefield is not with swords today, but within ourselves, as we watch ourselves grow further and further away from our connection to the land and animals and values of generational. We are programmed to the false comfort of our devices, brainwashed to believe the comfort lie. Yet it is within us to challenge it daily and pass the mantle as best we can, but the system will make any move away from comfort really uncomfortable. And we don't have a dishwasher. My young kids wash the dishes every evening, and they put out the compost and weed the garden and many other chores that are really not uncomfortable at all. Yet I live deep within this paradox as I just adjusted the aircon down a few degrees for my comfort this evening, as we are in a heat wave exacerbated by climate change. Temperature in most of Australia for the next week is 10 to 15 degrees C over the average, not very comfortable to sleep and try to manage a busy life and family. We hardly ever use the aircon, but such is the paradox we face. I think many of us are living in that paradox. I am one of them. I'm moving on to a comment by Ash or Aish. To give a person a realistic thought of what it would take, just imagine life without plastic and the use of your car. That is the adjustment we need to do, but you should remain neutral about politics, because left, right, in the middle, we all made this happen, all of us, so you should not pick a side to defend. I like your channel. Good luck. I don't know if that means he's not coming back. I hope he does. Ash comments frequently. I'm not picking sides, actually. So just to clarify, that's actually the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to not pick sides. I'm trying to glean the truth that each side has, and also expose the lie that each side is foisting upon us. That's my goal in my political conversations. There's truth in almost everything, and every person in every situation, even if those situations and people and situations are bad or ugly or evil or whatever it is. There's always truth to be gained. Next comment I wanted to read is from Imogen Gardner. In his latest UPFSI video, Stuart Scott states that he believes we have already arrived at runaway global warming at last, a real commitment to the level of urgency we and the rest of the planet should be feeling and acting upon if we have any mitigating effect. Boat going down, all hands on deck. Politics are inextricably linked to abrupt climate change. Yes, it is. So how do you use it to achieve something positive and fast acting before the catastrophic crisis forces the extreme responses in order to gain control? We are not so very far from that point already. Can we trust the standing politicians to act in the best interests of the earth and all life on it? To be honest, I'm not sure why. I put a question mark there, except that the answer is likely no. The answer is sought honestly. So bring on the politics live stream, but does that include the possibility that what is on offer isn't even close to what the world needs? Of course, definitely. Probably anything offered or put forward is going to be very, very lacking in what is necessary. In order to do anything, we will need to rip apart everything, because so little is about trying to tackle this predicament and the rate at which it is unraveling the biosphere. So little of it addressed the reality of what we know and what we thought we knew, and the rolling dice of how fast things will collapse. I watched Peter Wadhams present a farewell to ice. He talked about what we need to do. i.e. carbon capture, but pointed out that we do not have time to cut down emissions. That being so, how does he imagine we have the time to implement air capture of CO2 from methods not yet effective at scale at a time when the rate of change is off the charts of the imagination? A rather apologetic delivery, I felt, because he is aware of that fact. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of climate scientists are trying to walk a line between, what they know is probably a hopeless situation and maybe some hope. I don't know. Last comment I wanted to read is from the video a day ago. I could think the Christmas Day video. This is Daniel Smith, and he says temperatures are crazy weird. Living near Toronto, Canada, I've been wearing a t-shirt all month. Only 7 days so far have been below freezing where I live, and only one of those days is with any significance only 23 Fahrenheit, which is still very mild from when I was young growing up. Our warmest day was 50 Fahrenheit. I realize that may seem chilly for someone in California, but for myself expecting actual cold temperatures, I can stay out for many minutes wearing just a t-shirt. Honestly, 50 degrees is great for me. I can hang out in a t-shirt in 50 degrees as well. So yeah, 50 is warm for Toronto, Canada right now in December. I'm still waiting for winter. It was a green Christmas, even though we had mild dusting of snow yesterday and today. This kind of weather for where I live is just frankly alarming. And indeed, we've been hearing that a lot from many of the northern latitudes, that the weather is very, very mild. Of course, there was an article I read about, was it Sweden or Finland didn't have any snow at all. It was like November. Completely abnormal, completely a sign of a very drastic climate change happening, and completely going against what all the weirdo solar minimum, no climate change people are talking about. If there's no global warming or there's no climate change, why is it Toronto, Canada isn't feet deep in snow and minus many degrees Celsius and or Fahrenheit? That's the norm. So right now what's happening is way outside of the norm. Also in other northern climates, Scandinavia, Finland, whatever, etc. So I don't know where you guys are getting your information or your reality from, but it's not reality. Somebody made it up and you went, oh, that sounds good to me. Check in if you like, please. I'm just gonna kind of drift through a couple articles to finish out this video. Saw this on Facebook. Iceland elects 41-year-old environmentalist as prime minister. When I saw this headline, I was like, yes. And then I read the article and I got instantly depressed. Katrin Jakobsdottir, or Jacob's daughter, I guess, the 41-year-old chairwoman of the Left Green movement, has been elected prime minister of Iceland. All right, that's great. The Left Green movement, one of the most well-liked politicians on Iceland, Katrin, a former education minister and avowed environmentalist, has pledged to set Iceland on a path to carbon neutrality by 2040. Okay, that's not very many years away, right? That's 11 years from now. As Iceland's fourth prime minister in only 2 years, Katrin will take office at a time when national politics have been tainted by public distrust and scandal. A democratic socialist. All right, democratic socialist. Hey, Katrin is viewed as a bridge building leader that may lead the country towards positive incremental change. She is the party leader who can best unite voters from the left and the right. Okay. That last part didn't sound so great. Incremental change, doesn't sound like they're going to get carbon neutrality by 2040 with incremental change. Although Iceland, being a much smaller country, has been known to do way more radical things politically, economically, et cetera, because they can turn on a dime. Super-duper-doo. Because this coalition includes parties from the left and the right, their work will be more about managing the system instead of making revolutionary changes. So yeah, just the whole end of that was a big like, wah, wah, wah. We're not going to make any radical revolutionary changes. We're going to make incremental change, but carbon neutrality by 2040. Okay. I hope y'all make it. Anyways, optically, symbolically, I guess that's a good thing. We need an environmentalist as our next president. Absolutely. Moving on to, this is a video, but I'm going to link it. I'm also going to link that Stuart Scott video that Imogen was talking about. I was just watching. I watched about half of it. Pretty good for Stuart Scott. I mean, he's laying out all the basic information, but laying it out, on a bigger stage, on a global stage. So there you go. Havana hit by severe floods. This is from a couple days ago, I believe. Huge waves have broken through Havana's seawall, flooding the streets of the Cuban capital in scenes unknown in living memory. Lashed by heavy rains and winds in excess of 110 kilometers per hour, residents of the ground floor apartments have been moved upstairs. Many people deemed at risk have been evacuated. The last comparable weather to hit Cuba was 2017's Hurricane Irma. The weather has been brought by an extra tropical low pushing through parts of the southeastern corner of the United States before ramming into Cuba. Flooding has already extended inland in parts. What is the date on this? There is no date on this, but I'm assuming this is like recent. There's a video to watch here, so y'all can watch this. Very little information in that article, but moving on to this article from the Huffington Post. And a possible U.S. first, no violent tornadoes touchdown in 2018. Very interesting, considering that we had a record year for cyclonic activity, but now we're having a record for lack of tornadoes. The U.S. is also on track to have the fewest tornado-related deaths in any year since record keeping began. Odd, strange, interesting, weird. The end of 2018 could mark a meteorological novelty. This year could be the first in the modern record in which not a single violent tornado, those ranked EF4 or EF5 on the enhanced Fujita scale, touched down in the United States. The Washington Post, Ian Livingston, noted that in 2018 was a quiet year for tornadoes overall, but didn't they just have one in Seattle, I believe? Yeah, I don't know what the scale of it was. March to May, which is typically peak tornado season, was notably quiet with weather conditions unfavorable for tornado activity. Livingston said the U.S. is also on track this year to have the fewest tornado-related deaths. Some of these figures could change by the end of the year, however, as severe thunderstorms threaten parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. AccuWeather.com said residents in the affected areas should brace for downpours, strong wind gusts, and possible isolated tornadoes through Thursday. And that is that, a small bright spot in the lack of extreme weather on the tornado front. That is all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links and the address below. Until next time, peace.